Welcome to episode 67 of the Sunday Punch Podcast. The Sunday Punch Podcast. We have Charlie and Monty here. We're going to get right into it and talk about some football, but just a breakdown here. I was in Cleveland this last weekend. Took a nice little vacay to Cleveland, and I went because the Ravens were playing the Cleveland Browns, and so I wanted to see that game. Beautiful day in the stadium there, and Cleveland went up. It was 24 to 6. And the funny thing about Cleveland Browns fans is, like, everyone around us was like, and Lamar Jackson was out of the game, done. Third series, injured, done. You never saw him again. He got carted off into the locker room. But everyone around us was like, still nervous. 22-6 at half. And they're like, God, I don't know. Like, we gotta start really running the ball here. No one in Cleveland trusts Baker Mayfield at all, and it's over for him. Like, I was taking the pulse of the crowd there. I think it's over for him in Cleveland, and as they expected, the Baltimore Ravens with backup Huntley, who, may I say, of the mediocre / bad quarterback options, is one of the best. That oxymoron. One of the best mediocre bad options you could have. Because, dude, he was throwing some nice passes. They do work themselves back. Baker throws an outrageous interception. Baltimore comes back. Sidebar, Justin Tucker, in person, is clearly the best kicker of all time. The wind that was coming through that place, he nails a 54-yard field goal with the wind blowing towards him. And then in the practice before the game, he's hitting like 65-yarders, dude. It's like, I mean, just like consistently over. Anyway, that's a sidebar. He makes all of his field goals. They do come back. Of course, they do an onside kick. And everyone in the stadium was just like, oh, he's going to get it. Like their mentality as Cleveland Browns fans is this play that has a 5% chance of actually working. They're like, oh, God. They were already giving up before the kick. And then, of course, hits some Brown. You don't know the guy's name. And they get the ball. And at that point, people are like starting to leave. They're like, oh, well, this is over. Like, we have lost the game. But I'll give it to the Browns. They somehow did not choke, and Myles Garrett sacked Huntley, and then the game was over. But if you were betting on the game, I feel bad for those that bet on the Cleveland Browns. -2.5. And, of course, the Ravens got within 2. Final score 24-22. Although I will say this, I don't know anything about the AFC North anymore. I used to be very strong, very pro AFC North, but I don't know who's good in that division anymore. I used to think I think I've said on this cast, Baltimore is going to win the Super Bowl. That's not happening. That's definitely not happening, especially with Lamar out, and the last couple of weeks have just been horrendous. He didn't look any better in the 3 series. You got the fucking Bengals, who sometimes look like the best team in the world, and then other times, like, Joe Burrow, I think he has over 20 interceptions this year. Did you know that? I might be making it up. I might have just made up that stat. Charlie, can you check that out while I continue on my AFC North monologue here?
Yeah, I was about to say, thanks for the opening monologue. You're going to take 5 minutes right now.
We're 4 minutes in. Did you know I had a guest? But I don't know if you guys follow the AFC North. Do you think any of those teams are going to make a run, or you just think that it's first round exits for anyone? I mean, Browns, they suck. I'm off the Browns.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are making it very far in the playoff. I mean, I think they're obviously the Ravens. I think the Bengals will make the playoffs, but yeah, Joe Burrow 14 picks on the year.
Oh,
quite
14.
20,
okay,
but still,
not quite 20. It just
that's
feels like 20 to me.
Yeah, that's like Carson Wentz 2020 numbers right there. But
yeah, I mean,
no, I don't think a team from the North will be coming out of the AFC at the end of the year.
Which is disappointing because like you think like AFC North, like hard nosed football, it's gonna happen, but I don't know. Just no one is inspiring in that anymore. My brother says Cincy's winning the division. I don't know about that because let's look at this here. Let's look at the old lovely Cincinnati Bengals schedule. Typing it in. The Bengals, they play. Okay, so the Bengals play the Broncos, which we'll get to the click it to pick it because that's an interesting line there. What was it, Charlie?
The Broncos were favored. 1 sec.
I think only by like
it was close.
Half.
Currently, the Broncos are favored by 1.5. Yep.
Okay. So then they got the Broncos in Denver. You know about that. Thin air. Then they got the Ravens. So that's a division game. Might as well chalk that up for like who knows what the fuck's going to happen. Then they got the Chiefs and the Browns, which is another division game. I don't know about that. That's a tough schedule.
It's up for grabs right now. They're all right there contending.
I think the Ravens.
Oh yeah. Well, I forgot about them.
I still think they'll end up winning the division. I think that if Lamar's healthy, apparently he's supposed to play this week.
Is he?
Yeah, they said he was questionable, but they said he could play. But comparing the Ravens to the other teams, the Browns, I know the Browns just beat them, but the Browns are the Browns. The Bengals, there's question marks, and the Steelers season's over. I think, though, one of them, they'll be the 4th seed, whoever makes it from the AFC North. Yeah. And then it just depends on your matchup. And I don't know, like running the ball come playoff time, that's what the Ravens do. I think if you can do that and you can control the clock, you always have a chance. And sometimes there's always like a fluke team that makes it. And it's just dependent on matchups. And I feel like they could win the first game, but then once they play like the Chiefs or your Patriots, they
my Patriots. You know what I was thinking about with Ben Roethlisberger though? You know what would be interesting is like he has looked good at the end of these last couple of games here. I'm just looking at the playoff scenarios here. I wonder, like, at this point of his career, he should be like a closer, like in the MLB. He comes in for like 5 snaps a game. He's like the NFL closer. It's like, Ben, you can't do it for a full game, but we'll tell you what, we'll give you 10 plays. Like, what's wrong with that? You could save him for the rest of the season. Yeah, the Ravens now.
Who would they use in the other time?
Yeah, right. Well, they'd have to draft somebody.
Naga Rudolph.
Well, they let's go back to the last cast, dude. They're gonna get Gardner Minshew, and all problems will be solved. The rest of the NFL, I don't know anything about the rest of the NFL. Like, I don't feel confident about anyone anymore. I was feeling confident about Tampa Bay, but then all of a sudden, Buffalo makes this giant comeback, and then that's like a tough game. I don't know. It's so up for grabs. I feel like, I guess you could say, oh, look at the Chiefs, but even them, like I watched them like last week. I said, you watch them versus Denver, and it's like Patrick Mahomes isn't doing the things he's supposed to be doing. What's going on with Travis Kelce?
He's not doing anything.
He better show up this week. You
have him in fantasy. I have him in fantasy. How the fuck does Travis? Yeah. How did the Chiefs score?
Like 50.
How much did they score? 50? How do they score over 30 against the Raiders and not give it to Travis Kelce for over 25 yards?
I have no words. His stats last year were crazy, and even this year, I think like fantasy wise, he's like tight end 2 now. But compared to what he normally puts up, this isn't normal Travis Kelce numbers.
They're saving him for the fantasy playoffs.
But I think this year in general, that's what makes the NFL like nice this year is that there's no like powerhouse team that you had a feeling last year. Oh, the Chiefs were going to dominate again. Like it's anyone can make the Super Bowl out of any division. So,
how are you feeling about the Packers?
I like the Packers. I think that they're the best team right now.
Like to me, Devontae Adams is a cheat code, and everyone knows where the ball's going, and he still finds a way to get 2 touchdowns, 100-something yards, and just makes DBs look funny.
Well, then I'm glad that I locked in my bet at $100 for a payout of $750 for the Packers to win the Super Bowl. Lock that in. Did I mention that on the last cast?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's locked in.
The thing with the Packers, though, they always make it to the conference finals, and they'll go far, but they never really get over the hump, and they always just find a way to choke it away. But, I mean, this year they're looking really good, but in years past, they've also looked really good.
Did you watch that Packers-Bears game?
Yeah, I watched it.
Thoughts?
That's why I was like, Devontae Adams is a cheat code. Like, there was the one touchdown he had where he caught it, and then the 2 Bears players just smacked into each other.
Yeah.
Just walked in the end zone. And the other one, who was one-on-one with the DB who was playing pretty well the whole game, and just put him on skates and made the guy, like, touch earth. And he's just a cheat code.
He's amazing.
Thankful to have him on my fantasy team as well.
Right. We'll get to the fantasy dilemmas that I have later, but that Packers game, Chris Collinsworth would marry Aaron Rodgers if given the chance, dude. Like, I almost want to like turn on mute because like by the third quarter, you're like, all right, dude, we get it. You like the guy. And then he's talking about, I love this. Chris Collinsworth is like, I don't know. I was talking to him this week, and I think he could come back. Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back to the Packers. You sit with he torpedoed the team for a full 6 months in the offseason. And then you sit down with him for 30 minutes to an hour before the pregame like talk that you have with these players, and you get all like the pulse that Aaron Rodgers is staying with the Packers. Come on. Although I am worried about or is this just Aaron Rodgers building up the legend like some players do? Some players we know, LeBron James to mention, but he did mention that his toe was hurt. Is that any of concern, or is that just him like building up his own legend?
COVID toe.
What's that?
I don't know what it is, but that's what they were calling it.
Who's they?
Like,
I think he's joking. I don't think it's a real thing.
No, apparently, like, it is real. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't read about it, but apparently it's like, I don't want to say a side effect of COVID, but it's somehow related to it.
Okay, you probably know that COVID-19, I'm going to go ahead and read the article. You probably know that COVID-19 can bring on symptoms like cough, fever, fatigue, and shortness of breath. Could it also be linked to swollen and discolored toes? Some medical groups and researchers say that the condition been dubbed COVID toes. That's what they came up with. The condition dubbed COVID toes. A group of doctors, a conference of doctors. Well, just call it COVID toes. Let's just call it that.
Could have called it 19 toes.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Other quick sidebar on COVID. Saw a guy at the Browns game with a jersey that said COVID as the name and 19 as the number. Big pandemic guy. Let's get to the bottom of this COVID toes thing. Bop bop bop, shnabba ding dong. Hey, what causes COVID toes? It just swells up your toes, right? That's unclear for now. The skin changes have shown up in people who have tested for COVID, and in people who have tested even negative for COVID. Well, then it is not related to COVID. It's like, well, we've seen it in both COVID and non-COVID, but we're gonna call it COVID toes. Yeah, it's just that they swell up, look bright red, then gradually turn purple, and then fall off. No, I'm kidding. I made that last part up. But okay, that's interesting. I'm looking at a picture of it now. I would not want it. I'll tell you
So
that.
could they call like COVID anything then?
Yeah.
You could
That's
be
what
like,
I'm gonna. If I get an STD, that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna be like, I got
Extremely
COVID genital warts. I don't know what to do.
could be extremely overweight. You're like,
Yeah,
no,
I got
this is a
COVID
side
AIDS.
effect." COVID AIDS.
I got COVID AIDS, dog. So any concern there? Or I mean, what does he need his toes for? It's gonna be freezing cold in Green Bay when they're in the playoffs.
I mean, as long
Think
as
he's
it's
gonna
not
feel his
broken-
toes?
I mean, as long as it's not broken, I feel like he'll be out there. But I don't know what. Like, he's had this for a while, and he hasn't missed a game, and he's been throwing touchdowns. So if he's playing on it fine now, hopefully it just holds up and nothing gets worse.
This is a good one. COVID. You guys get that one? Venereal disease? No? You guys are too young. You haven't been with enough women. Okay, moving on. I love my bet with the Packers, though. I think the Packers
they're my pick right now from the NFC.
Are you as confident as your Monday night bet for last week?
Go ahead and bet on the Packers to win the Super Bowl. You won't get the odds that I got, but I'll tell you what, there hasn't been an easier bet to make in a long time since last week when I picked the Cardinals to beat the Rams.
Guys, this is who you're listening to.
Rams at Cardinals Monday night. Cardinals 2.5-point favorites. Yeah, that's me. Cardinals are going to smoke the Rams.
Right.
I love this bet.
I'm
I
just
did
saying.
love the bet, and I still love the bet. In hindsight, I love the bet. If you watch the Cardinals-Rams game, I kind of sat there stumped being like, I can't believe that the Cardinals are not scoring more in this.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the red zone. He throws a pick. He's kind of going up and down the field, doing what he wants. By the way, an amazing break for me because I was playing Kyler Murray, and it determined whether I made the playoffs. But even still, I was sitting there like, how is Kyler Murray not doing more against the Rams right now? Because it seemed to me that he was going up and down the field.
He turns it over a lot.
He's a little guy, too. He's a short little guy.
Yeah.
And he got a little dinged up on one of those hits, too. That's the thing that still worries me about the Cardinals. And you think the Cardinals are going to go into Green Bay?
Not after what Green Bay did to them earlier this year without Devontae.
Greetings from Minnesota. Let's talk about my Minnesota Vikings then. Called it. Totally. You got that clip? I totally called that the Vikings would beat the Steelers and cover that line.
Did you say
they tried their best to pull? They tried their best to pull a Cleveland Browns at the end. What are your thoughts? Quick thoughts on Chase Claypool and his celebration for the first down.
He's stupid. He's just dumb. He's just stupid.
Yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Kirk Cousins, Hall of Fame quarterback. But actually, that brings me to my next point here, talking quarterbacks. Because when I was at the Browns game and I mentioned that everyone was freaking out, up 22-6. So I wanted to see what Baker's QBR was. QBR, for those that don't know, is completion percentage. It also takes into account the defensive ranking against that quarterback. It also takes into account if it's like a 3rd and 13 and they throw 3rd and 5. even though that counts for completion percentage, it's like, well, you just checked it down. That's not a winning play. So anyways, it's kind of the closest, most accurate barometer to like where a quarterback is. Baker Mayfield, as expected, is 26th of 32. But what was surprising to me, one of my Super Bowl picks. I like to, throughout the season, scatter Super Bowl picks around because then I'm always right. I'm like Skip Bayless in that sense. But this was a surprising one. Dak Prescott, 23. In fact, the entire NFC East is around this
23rd
around
23rd out of all the quarterbacks, correct? That's not his QBR.
No, his QBR is 45.9.
Okay, I was like, that is terrible.
No. It's 23 of all the quarterbacks, right below Taylor Heineke, right below Jalen Hurts, and the only one he's beaten in the NFC East is freaking Daniel Jones at 25.
So you're telling me that Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC East?
What I'm asking you is, have you watched the Cowboys, and what has Dak been looking like? Because I didn't watch any of that game.
We watched it the Sunday game, and he threw a terrible pick at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They were up. They could have just iced the game, and he threw like straight to the linebacker, pick six, and then suddenly it's 7-point game. It was
Yeah.
I haven't watched many Cowboys games though, but the ones that I watched, he's looked pretty good. I remember watching the first game of the year when they were in Tampa, and he looked like a stud. And
yeah, I know. That's the one I'm like reacting to.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like,
then again, you think about it, that was
anything
14 weeks ago.
But then I watched him versus the Raiders, the highlights of the Raiders game, and I was like, oh, he looks good. So every other game he sucked.
Pretty much.
So.
He's not running either.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of their play calls have been like, why are you calling this play? And I know they hype up Kellen Moore as this like offensive guru, but if your quarterback's QBR isn't showing that, it's not like their offense is putting up crazy numbers. Maybe he's regressed this year, as you can probably make that judgment. But I mean, I still think he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't think his QBR is showing that he's in the 20s, but I mean, I still think he's a solid quarterback, and I would want him on my team. I feel like a lot of it is play calling. I know against the Saints, same scenario. All they have to do is the fourth quarter, just run the clock out, just run it. And they're out here throwing it on first, second, and third down. It's like this doesn't make sense. We're up like 10 points, 14 points. Why are we throwing the ball?
Yeah, they'd have a lot of that. Although they did bring their seat warmers to the Washington game. And that was good. That was a good thing. I like that. I'm a man of comfort. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, everyone's like giving them shit. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, my thing is,
sucks.
Are the visitor benches not? Do they not have seat warmers on them?
I heard something.
Now that's a good question.
Apparently, they just were not too good. So
they're not up to the Dallas Cowboys standards. All right, let's go to top quarterbacks. All right, number 1 is Tom Brady. Can you guess number 2 and 3?
Aaron Rodgers.
He's 4.
Oh shit.
Herbert.
Yes, 2.
Herbert is playing well.
Dude, Herbert made one of the craziest throws I've ever seen in that
was
game.
Nuts.
Only he can do that, too. I don't think any other quarterback in the league can do that.
Mahomes.
You don't think Mahomes or Josh Allen can make that like 50? Was it that touchdown?
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen and Mahomes, they have the arm strength for it.
Yeah, you're right. I overreacted. Major overreaction. My bad. Yes,
Carson Wentz can do it.
Nah, Carson Wentz
can't do it. Although he is number 6. Number 6.
I thought he was up there. Where's Kyler?
Is Josh Allen?
Kyler is 5.
Is Josh Allen number 2?
Now here's the surprise. Number 7. Tua
Oh, I know who number 3
in
is.
Miami.
Is it Stafford?
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is 3. So let's just break it down here. Tom Brady, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, Tua, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and number 10, Kirk Cousins, Hall of Fame QB. Actually, you know what? Joe Burrow made a couple great throws too. You might want to put him up there too in that game, which is wild. Although I will say this, let's get back to the original thing of this discussion. I'm not done with my San Francisco 49ers yet either. They're looking like they're kind of putting it together.
They are.
Kittle's
MAGA Nick Bosa was all over the field, dude. He was like in every play. Was he not? Did you watch that game?
I watched highlights of it, and yeah, he's been that way. People just forget about it because he tore his ACL last year.
I like San Fran, dude.
I do too. I partially was just making fun of you, and I also don't think Jimmy G is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But
yeah, but he's quite the looker, dude.
I always knew I wasn't gonna be gay.
That's all I'm gonna say, dude. I mean, he looks like a starting QB if you catch my drift.
I always knew I wasn't gonna be gay.
Yeah.
I could see them.
I mean, get a couple drinks in me, and you put Jimmy G in front of me, dude.
What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
By the way, speaking of Broadway Joe, Zach Wilson pulling in at dead last in the QBR rankings. Man, but it's okay. He's only 12. He can grow into the role. Okay, I think I'm done with that. Do you want to do any other reactions to Week 14?
I don't think there was really much to take away. Were there any big upsets? I'm trying to think.
No. All right, let's go right here because I'm just looking at the matchup here. Titans, Jags. Urban Meyer, quit or gets fired?
He gets fired before he tries to quit.
Because you got to pay him all that money if you fire him.
Oh, if he quits, then he doesn't get any of it?
I'm thinking maybe he tries to jet back to college or something. This is like too much for him. He's obviously out of his league. If what they're reporting, those that don't know, they're reporting that he called all of his assistant coaches losers, then made them defend their resume in front of everyone. And then they're reporting that him and Marvin Jones got into such a heated argument that Marvin Jones just left the facility for the day.
Yeah, I think he's just a shitty human being. I think it's pretty obvious. It's documented.
I'll tell you, Urban Meyer, he definitely knew. Dude.
I always knew I wasn't gonna be gay.
That's Urban Meyer.
He also used to be a piece of shit.
Yo, it still is a piece of shit, but you know.
Did you used to be a piece of shit?
Oh, yeah. Slick back hair, white bathing suit, sloppy steaks, white couch. You would have not liked me back then.
Yeah, Urban Meyer's got many problems. You just got to think, like, why? Like, he's got to be thinking in his mind, why did I do this?
I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence.
He had a cushy job. Oh, and the whole James Robinson thing.
Mm-hmm.
Benching James, your best player, basically. You're just like, oh, you fumbled it once. It's like, that shit does not work in the NFL, dude. Unless you're Bill Belichick. Unless you have that many years where you can just be like, I don't give a fuck.
Jaguars are a mess.
So where are you going, Charlie? Quit or gets fired?
Probably gets fired. I mean, I don't see why they would. I mean, he's gonna probably, unless he does some other stupid stuff, he's gonna stay there for the rest of the year and then just get fired probably. And it's not like a coaching change is gonna really turn that team around. But
I bet you they're looking at the contract and being like, "Oh, we should have put in a clause that said if you cheat on your wife, we can fire you." Dang it. God darn it! Next
they should
time,
keep him
next
around and
time.
then sign AB and see what happens.
Oh my God. I've never seen like such dysfunction so quickly in an NFL franchise.
Yeah. Only the Jags.
Only the Jags, dude. Okay. Should we
I would
get
take the
into
Lions moving forward over the Jags. I wish we got that as a game this year. Lions versus Jags. I'd watch that.
Yeah, that'd be like the ultimate. That'd be like the anti-Super Bowl. I'd like to watch that too, dude. All right. Should we we're at the 30-minute mark. You want to do our click it to pickets for week 15 of the NFL?
Let's do it. I haven't decided yet what I'm doing.
Oh, just a brief before let's sandwich the NFL into the NBA. Any thoughts on so LeBron James, my favorite human being in the world, in our LeBron James segment for today. I actually liked this when I first saw it when LeBron okay, so actually a former Bull, I believe it was Wendell Carter Jr., lost his glasses in the game. LeBron picks him up and just puts like the glasses on his face as like a joke.
It was just the frames, right?
It was just like the lenses. It was just the lenses.
Lenses, I meant, sorry.
When I saw it on like Bleacher Report, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, yeah, I'll give it to him. That was funny. Then LeBron like he epically has to do this. Like he has to just cringeworthy do something. He takes the clip, posts it on his own Instagram, and then like comments on it, and he's like, "I'm such a crazy guy. Like, what am I doing?" And I just thought of like this clip, and this is like totally what LeBron James is right now.
Sue me.
Guess what I wear 4th of July with the boys?
What? Shut up. No.
I don't know. I'm like a kid.
I'm like a kid. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Let's get into click it to pickets for week 15 of the NFL. Let's start with Thursday night football, which is a big game for me and Charlie, fantasy wise. I have Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler and Travis Kelce.
That's across
All
two
going.
leagues, though.
That's across
Right.
2 leagues, but I'm in the playoffs, so it counts, dude.
Well, I'm in one
And,
league, and I have Eckler, Kelce, and Keenan Allen, so got a lot invested into this game.
Yeah. Do you want to watch that somewhere?
Yeah, I was talking to Monty. I think we should go watch it somewhere.
I'm down.
Okay. And then if I can fix my TV, I'd be down to have you guys over to watch the games on Sunday. But that's a big if. That's a big if. Kansas City Chiefs at Los Angeles Chargers. I'm looking at Kansas City minus 3.5 right now. Thoughts?
This is my click it to pick it.
I take the Chargers all day.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go. I'm taking the Chargers as well.
No, I'm taking every time you guys or like people want to take the Chargers, they'll turn around and lay an egg and choke. And I don't think they'll choke in this game, but I just think is the game in Kansas City or in LA?
No, it's in LA.
Which basically just means Kansas City. LA doesn't have fans.
Yeah, they don't have fans.
Yeah, that's true.
But hopefully Travis Kelce hasn't played well in 2 weeks. Maybe he looks at the stat sheet and is like, throw me the ball more. And then they just feed him and force him. And even Tyreek didn't do anything crazy last week, and they still dominated. So maybe if they get back on track, then I could see it's going to be a high-scoring game, and hopefully one of those two can get multiple touchdowns. And I don't think the Chargers can stop the Chiefs. on defense. The Chargers defense is actually really, really bad. And so it's just going to be who can score more points. And the Chiefs defense recently has shown that they can get some stops. So that's why I'm taking the Chiefs.
That's your click it to pick it?
Yeah.
Right off
Lock
the bat.
it in. Vegas Raiders at the old Cleveland Browns again, 4:30 p.m. Browns -3 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I guess I like the Browns. I guess.
I'm avoiding that game. In my opinion, those two teams are the same thing. They just,
Except the Raiders have a better quarterback.
yeah, but they just, I don't know. I feel like
The Browns have a better running back. Let's break this down. No, I'm kidding. I got the Browns -3.
They'll be without Njoku, though.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we did our Njoku time last week, and unfortunately, our favorite tight end got COVID. So if his toes aren't swollen up enough, let's do Njoku time real quick and see if he can get back.
Muhammad Wilkerson, David Njoku's 3rd touchdown catch of the season. That's a beauty.
Boom! Right in the butthole. David Njoku, what do you got for his stat line? Whoa! What are you laughing at, dude? That was not meant to be anything. I'm not making any reference. Dude.
I always knew I wasn't gonna be gay.
All right, Njoku. I'm keeping with my stat line, I believe, from last podcast. David Njoku will have 2 catches for 23 yards.
I'll say one. Oh, you said one
catch,
for
6 yards.
I was gonna say 1 for 12.
All right, lock it in. Let's review this on Sunday again. All right,
He goes like 8
Patriots.
for 90, 3 touchdowns.
Oh well, no, I'm gonna change mine because apparently Austin Hooper caught COVID, so I'll say like 3 for 28.
Big boost.
What's going on in that tight end room, dude?
Right?
They're not gonna have any tight ends.
I think they're
All right.
yeah.
By the way, that game's on Saturday.
Oh.
Another game on Saturday is New England at the Indianapolis Colts at 8:15 p.m. Hello.
That's gonna be a good one.
Colts -2.5. They still are hating on my Patriots, dog.
I don't think they're hating. I just probably think that they don't think they're.
You're just
they're
trying to make
good,
money.
but not that good.
They think, no, I'll tell you what they think. They think it's in Indianapolis, and they think that Jonathan Taylor is going to take the ball away from the Patriots the whole time.
He will. He's gonna. I mean, the Patriots have a good run defense, but
What's the line again?
-2.5 for the Colts.
Yeah, I'll take the Patriots.
yeah, I do think because I don't trust Carson Wentz. He'll probably make some boneheaded decisions. So Patriots could win that.
I
Well,
love the
thing
Patriots,
about
but I think the Colts win this for some. I got a weird feeling.
thing about Belichick is he always takes away the opposing team's best player. And
It's a crazy strategy. Other teams should probably employ that sometime.
It's true. He does.
I
He
like how they
always-
say that too. They're like, he takes away your best player. It's like, well, why doesn't everyone do this? Is it
I
that
just don't
hard? Is
see-
it that hard to be like 2 guys? That guy.
I just think that they're gonna force Carson to pass a ton, and that's not gonna work out for them.
No.
He'll make a mistake. We'll see how much it costs
He'll
them.
make a mistake? Just one?
Well, I'm saying at least one.
Oh, okay. All right, Carolina Panthers at Buffalo Bills. Well, that gets us started for Sunday at 1 p.m. Bills -10.5 versus. I strangely love watching the Panthers because they just keep starting Cam Newton, and it is really must-watch TV.
And then they bench him after a quarter.
Yeah, and then
And
they're
then
like,
put him
oh, no,
back."
wait, never mind.
Yeah.
I like the Bills -10.5.
Yeah, the Panthers. Yeah, they don't have a plan at quarterback, so they're just doing whatever. So
DJ Moore's hamstring is iffy too, which is not good for my fantasy team, but it's okay. I'm gonna have to go Devontae Smith. I'm going to go Eagles stack. Arizona Cardinals at Detroit Lions. Cardinals minus 13.5.
That's a lot. But I could see it coming off a loss. Maybe they're like, all right, let's just get back on track and destroy them and get out of there.
Yeah. If I had to, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not betting on the Lions anymore.
This is my click it to pick it. I like Cardinals minus 13.5.
Oh, wow. You didn't see that?
Yeah. I was going to do the next game. Anybody going Detroit? Anybody?
No.
Going once, going twice. Next game.
All right, I'll do it.
Dallas.
I'll do it.
Okay, no, I'm in. Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. Dallas with the 23rd ranked, 26th, I don't forget where he is, 23rd ranked quarterback is giving 10.5 to the Giants. It's in New York.
The Giants are bad though. The Cowboys were up like 20-something points against the football team and just a couple late garbage time touchdowns brought it close. So I think the Giants are even worse than the football team. So
I think if I had to pick, I'd pick the Giants.
Well, you do have to pick. So you have picked the Giants. Okay,
I mean,
Washington.
It's not my click it to pick it.
No, not your click it to pick it. We're only waiting on you now. Speaking of the football team, they play your Philadelphia Eagles 1 p.m. Sunday on Fox. Eagles minus 4.5. I like the Eagles. This could be an easy one.
I do too.
Heineke is probably not playing.
Apparently, he's questionable, so I think he's trying to play. I think that's why the line's still at 4.5. But if he's ruled out, it'll probably go up. But I know the football team has other injuries, and they'll be without some other players.
Colin Cowherd says the Sharps are already big on Philly, so you're not going to get the best number. Of all the games on this board, this was the game that jumped out to me the most. Philadelphia was the side when it opened to Eagles minus 2.5. Oh, if you could have jumped on that, that would have been nice. It's been bet up to 4, and I think it may go up to 5, then 6. So 4 may be the best number to get. So we're at 4. Oh, shit. It's at 5. Just jumped to 5. Live on the podcast.
People are listening. They're slamming the bet.
They're slamming the bet. But we didn't do the click it to pick it. I still like the Eagles at 5. I'm going crazy.
I do too, but not my click it to pick it.
Gardner Minshew see action in this game?
No, I don't think they'll bench Hurts.
Wentz.
No, I meant like, you think there'll be like a Gardner Minshew package?
No,
all right, go in there.
He'll be
It's
on the
Goddard
sidelines
time.
with his hat. Unless Hurts gets injured, Minshew won't see the field.
All right. God, I hope Hurts does something. Eagles have been the death of me this year. New York Jets at the number 7 ranked Tua, Miami Dolphins. Point spread, Dolphins minus 8.5. Dolphins have already won me money this year. Do I dare? Versus the worst quarterback in the league?
I like the Dolphins. Still not my click it to pick it.
Yeah, I'd take the Dolphins too. They're on like a pretty long winning streak.
Dolphins are in the playoff race.
Yeah. They went from having like 1 win out to like 6 or 7 right now. So, I mean, they'll destroy the Jets.
Dolphins are in the playoff race, dog. They dancing around.
Often, baby, I can let the
All right, that's enough of Jackson Mahomes for today. But I do like to work him into every episode. Adam, why didn't you use him on the Chiefs game? Moving on, Tennessee Titans versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Tennessee minus 2. At Pittsburgh, minus 2.
I was thinking.
I like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I was thinking going Pittsburgh too, but no.
But I can't.
Not my click it to pick it.
So you're not picking Pittsburgh?
Oh no, I would pick Pittsburgh, but sorry, when I say going, I'm referring to as my click it to pick it.
Although, for Tennessee, because they beat the Colts twice, if they win this, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, some incentive. Could be a big Julio game.
I got him on my fantasy squad.
I think Julio's
gone Pittsburgh, but
yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
I could see Pittsburgh winning this game. Tennessee, I'm not really sure about them. When they don't have Derrick Henry or AJ Brown out there, they're just throwing random running backs out there right now.
Right. A lot of people are going to be starting Foreman in their playoffs.
I don't know a receiver on their team other than Julio and AJ Brown. I could see the Steelers. They always find a way to be in games, and I could see them get a win late.
Okay. Moving on. Houston Texans at Jacksonville. We spent far too much time on the Pittsburgh Steelers-Tennessee game. So let's spend a lot more time on the Houston Texans at Jacksonville Jaguars game. Jacksonville, you said Detroit? You said you wanted to watch Detroit versus Jacksonville?
Yeah, here we go.
Well, I'll one-up you. What about Houston versus Jacksonville? Jaguars -3.5. If you bet on this game, you have mental illness. If you're like, I need to bet on the Jacksonville-Houston game, you have something wrong with you. But I'm taking the Jags here.
Yeah, I'll take the Jags too. But
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Wait, who's favored?
Jags -3.5.
I would take Houston.
You take Houston?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. No, okay. I like how I'm looking at this and all of them have had comments underneath by like analysts, and the Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, it's like nothing. They're just like, yeah, whatever. No, we don't need to do that.
Don't really care about. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna watch that game.
Vegas probably. You could go to Vegas and be like, how much money you got on the Jags game today? And they'd be like, we got like $5 on it. That guy's automatically already won. Cincinnati Bungles at Denver. This was the interesting one. At Denver Broncos -1.5 now.
Are the Broncos good like that?
I think I'm gonna lock it in. I think I gotta pick the Bengals.
You're gonna go with the upset?
Bungles.
Yeah. Just worried about the air.
It's that thin air.
Yeah.
They should fly out early, dude.
I was originally gonna do the Bears game. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think I'm locking in Bengals. Click it to pick it -1.
And that is all of the click it to pick it's, baby.
Lady luck.
All right, so we got the Falcons versus the 49ers. Let's finish it out. We've all done our click it to pick it's. Atlanta Falcons at San Francisco 49ers with the always lovely Jimmy G. For those listening, I just showed Skip Bayless jizzing his pants. Atlanta Falcons at San Francisco 49ers. 49ers -8.5. It was 9.5. People have bet on the Falcons, that means. San Fran -8.5, people. What do you got?
I got
San Fran.
Yeah.
I'd take San Francisco, yeah.
Moving on. Seattle Seahawks at Los Angeles Rams. Rams -4.5.
Hammer the Rams. The Seahawks are bad.
Something is not right in this one. I am going to take the Seahawks.
Never bet on divisional.
Green Bay Packers at Baltimore Ravens. Packers -4.5. This is the one you hammer.
Hammer the Ravens.
I mean, why are the Packers only favored by 4.5 in this game?
The game is, where's the game?
It's in Baltimore.
That's why.
They lost Marlon Humphreys. They might not have Lamar.
Oh, yeah, they won't be able to stop anyone. They won't be able to score. Yeah, the Packers are going to – if Lamar's out, the Packers are easily going to just dominate. They'll cover the spread.
Yeah. You think Green Bay rests anyone? No.
No.
They gotta lock it in, right?
Yeah. Because they won't rest anyone.
Okay. I'm going Green Bay. Sorry, Baltimore. New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Buccaneers minus 10.5 versus the Taysom Hill-led New Orleans Saints.
The Saints beat them earlier this year.
It's true. It's very true.
And they beat them
taking
last
the
year.
Bucks.
I think the Bucks will win, but 10.5 is a lot. So, I mean, I would take the Saints plus 10.5, but they'll still lose, but at 10.5.
You think Sean Payton is just like looking at Tom Brady and is like, God, Drew Brees, you couldn't have lasted as long as he, you piece of shit.
Drew Brees was washed.
I know. But Tom Brady's the number one quarterback in the league, and he's 3 years older than when Drew Brees retired. It's because he's not eating that green tea, ice cream, and avocado tequila or whatever. Eating avocado tequila. I like to eat it. Anyways, Sunday Night Football, over under. Here's another bet. How many more weeks is Michele Tafoya out for the Sunday Night Football crew? We're going on 3. Let's put it at 0.5. Michele Tafoya show up?
No, I think she's done this year.
She's done. They keep saying, "Oh, we always give our sideline reporters breaks."
No, they don't want her on TV.
They're like, "No, it's her bye week." It's like, how many weeks off does someone need when they only work 16 weeks a year?
She's too busy creating chaos outside her job. So,
for those that don't know, this is what Michele Tafoya said on The View.
And it is that there are affinity groups on campus for my son's first best friend was a little African-American boy. They were inseparable. Get to a certain age, they start having what's called an affinity group, which means you go for lunch and pizza with people who look like you. Suddenly, my son wasn't hanging out with him anymore. His next best friend was a little Korean boy. Years, inseparable. He started going to his affinity groups. Why are we even teaching that the color of the skin matters? Because to me, what matters is your character and your values.
Yes, but you know, you live in the United States. You know that color of skin has been mattering to people.
Can't we change it that it doesn't?
We need white people to step up and do that.
But I think that they've been doing that since the Civil War, and I'm not saying it's perfect.
No, they haven't.
What do you mean they haven't?
Yeah, they had everyone
Lady luck. You know, you just shouldn't go. I think the moral of the story here is don't go on The View.
Damn it, Michelle.
Stick to your daytime job.
Yeah, they're just like Chris Collinsworth doesn't know what's going. You know, they haven't filled anyone in either. They're just like, yep, she's still on bye. She needed rest from that really hard sideline reporter job. Where you say, I talked to the coach, and he says, we got to get better at defense. Michele Tafoya, you're going done for the season.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be back.
Why wouldn't they have announced it? Why are they
I feel
just
like they're trying to keep it low key and not make a whole formal announcement? Because I didn't hear about it until today, so I feel like they just want to keep it very subtle and not try to make it headline news like, oh, we're removing her from Sunday Night Football.
All right, Charlie.
Maybe
she comes back?
I think she comes back this week, Saturday Night Football.
Saturday Night Football. Who's going to be announcing those games? We get Tony Romo on Saturday?
Ron Gruden, the return with Michele Tafoya.
John Gruden, Michele Tafoya in the booth. Oh my God. Okay, let's hit our last game here. Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. Vikings -3.5. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure when I checked earlier today, the Bears were favored. I don't know if it flipped.
No,
the Bears
Vikings
are bad.
-3.5.
Oh, I must have read it wrong then.
Yeah.
I like
I
like the Bears.
Why?
It's a home game. It's prime time. I think they got a lot of momentum offensively from last week's game, and Minnesota's what?
The spark was the special teams. Dude.
Not necessarily.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could say that argument about anything.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start using the Charlie argument.
Right now, you
well,
can
not
make fun of me next
necessarily.
week. But when the Bears lose by 3 or less,
Yeah. That's what Michele Tafoya should have said, dude. Just ended it there.
You're not supporting your local team. That's pretty sad.
They should ask Michele Tafoya, do you support critical race theory? And she just says, not necessarily, and then just ended. Just not talked. You see, my son was friends with a little African-American boy, a Chinese fella, and then, one of them Indians. I mean, one of them football teams. All right, moving on. Okay, you got the Bears. Lock that in. I'm going to clip this one.
I just
I'm
said
clip this one. What? Yeah, but what? You think their offense is doing good things now? Matt Nagy
did. Andy Dalton.
Should Matt Nagy be fired during the season, even though the Bears haven't done that in their 150-year history?
He should have been fired last year. And I know they're not going to break away from the whole history of firing them midseason, but he should have been fired last year. He should have been fired earlier this year. He should have been fired last week. He should have been gone a while ago.
He's a complete embarrassment. And then he comes out in the press conference. He's like, oh, yeah, 4th and inches? That's one you just got to look at and be like, should have gone for it there. It's like,
you're the coach.
What the fuck? Why didn't you? You're not in the playoff race. What does it matter?
He's not the smartest coach out there.
I just can't. His
So
face
you guys are
is
going
so
Vikings.
annoying.
You get Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings. I'm going Vikings.
The Bears are bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Bears are really bad.
Okay.
I think the Green Bay thing. I mean, Green Bay covered easily, but there's the scare in the first half. I think it was like they were hyped up. It was Aaron Rodgers, the whole owning of the Bears, blah, blah, blah.
And it was just like 2 touchdowns that were like big plays. Like if you take it's easy to say if you take them away, but it wasn't like the Bears were driving the ball down the field, throwing it, converting on 3rd downs. Like they got a big run and then they got a big quick like slant pass.
All I'm saying is I think they got a lot of motivation offensively by putting that many points up in Lambeau. And I think that's just – and I don't think that the Vikings are on par with the Packers. So I think it'll be closer. I don't know. I'm not saying they'll win, but 3.5.
That's true. We are talking about a Minnesota team that lost to the Detroit Lions.
That's true.
And almost blew it last week.
But they're led by a
versus a shitty Pittsburgh Steelers team.
But a Hall of Fame quarterback is leading them into Chicago.
Hall of Fame quarterback, though.
Yeah, Hall of Fame quarterback.
The Bears.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. All right, moving on. Okay, I think this is a good cast, everyone. Anything else you want to bring up at the last second?
I mean, Steph Curry just broke the all-time record earlier today.
Cool. Good for him. Finally got the monkey off his back.
It was funny, though, to see that his parents were sitting on opposite sides of the stadium. The beef must be really deep for them not to. They got divorced last year, and for their son's biggest game, they're sitting on opposite sides of the stadium. I just thought that was funny.
Damn, that is brutal.
Divorce is hilarious.
No, I mean,
did he have to run to one side and then the other?
You can't sit together for like 2.5 hours.
No, dude. Once you divorce.
You think when they got divorced, Dell was like, all right, I call Steph is the one I get to root for.
Split it 50-50.
You can have Seth. Oh, that's a good. Now that is a good joke to end on the Sunday Punch podcast. Here, it is Tuesday night, a nice dark Tuesday night in Chicago, but it's always Friday night on the Sunday Punch podcast. So we leave you with our closeout song. Thank you for joining, and we'll be back next week.
Friday night, I'm thinking that we just might fly away to someplace they don't know who we are. Now I'm riding shotgun in your car. We drive through the city like explorers going 65. Flowing hair flying across your face. We left on Friday, now it's Saturday. Pressed jeans buttoned up, jeans iron slipping up. Red shoes walking slow, headphones blaring 3 stacks. Sunglasses flaring out, thick watch hanging low. Studded belt pulled taut, 3 stacks on the radio. Friday night, I'm thinking that we just might run away to some place we can be who we are. We can be who we are.